Hi everyone, this is Builder 101 series. In this video I'm going to talk about forms functionality in Builderius site builder. I created a sample page, Contact Us, and I'm going to add to this page contact form. I added div. By choosing it, I want to add my contact form inside. So I click element, then I search for keyword form. Here I have already 6 elements. I have basic form, I have text area field, I have 2 search forms, which I will not be covering in this video, but in the next one. And I also have my contact form. This is composite element. Upon adding it, here I have already full markup for fully working form. Probably I'm going to delete this second H3 because I don't need it. This form is already connected, and now I will explain you in the details how it works. First of all, our composite module is completely composable. Here the main element is smart form, the main element of this composite contact form. Smart form provides JavaScript functionality for the form, and it integrates all the parts. It acts like a central core element and store for the form. Inside the smart form, this should be added form, simple HTML element form, and element notification to provide a nice looking way of displaying notifications. Inside the form element, I add my markup for the form, actual form fields, which can be any HTML, so div for organization, it can be label and input for actual form fields, like here I have label for name and here I have input for name. Then there should be also button, which type should be submit, because this is how it works for form submission. Another detail, there should be nonce. This is special input. Let me show you. There are settings of the primary group. This input type is hidden, so it's not visible in the form, and its form field name is nonce. Everything can be set here in these settings. And the third setting is form field value. So for this special form field nonce, there is a dynamic tag that creates form nonce. The security is very important, so we use nonce to prevent spam submissions or, let's say, unauthorized submissions from maybe other sites or something like this. This dynamic tag is available inside dynamic tags context menu. When I click here, I can search for form. There are 2 elements. The second one is form nonce. Here I should choose contact form. Upon clicking this contact form, this dynamic tag will be inserted in the input. Now let's go back to the smart form element, the central element, and review its settings. For our form submission functionality, we use method post, but for search form, we use method get. In case you want to use smart form in your OS scenarios, you can choose between these 2 methods. Just remember that for default contact form functionality, we use method post. Here you can see the dynamic tag that automatically creates this special action. This is URL. This dynamic tag is also available in this context menu. This element form submission URL, when I click on contact form here, this is the only item. This dynamic tag will be inserted in this input. We have advanced functionality debugging. I can enable it. It is disabled by default. The output of this functionality, this debugging, will be visible in the DevTools of the browser. This is advanced functionality and I don't cover it in this video. Let's review our form field. So label is the very simple form field element. It has content and it has attribute for, which creates connection between this label and input. In this case, I put value name because the name, this value, is the ID for input, and it can be seen here in attributes. There is attribute it and its name. Apart from that, input form field as element has these settings. We have here input type. For this field it is text, but there are other types. For instance, we also have email, tell, and search. The second setting is form field name. The third setting is form field value. I can insert here a default value for this form field. The next setting is required. It is already set to be required, so it is a part of HTML5 validation applied to the form. Users cannot submit this form if this field is empty. The next setting is labeled by, it's used for accessibility. In advanced group of settings, there is one setting placeholder. It is already filled, and you can see the preview inside the input. For any additional attributes, I use attribute settings. For instance, I also added autocomplete name for this field. Also, those settings used in the primary, like required, is also visible here because they all connected to HTML attributes. Previously, I already mentioned that form absolutely workable and I can interact with it already inside the editor. Let me just hide this overlay to make it better visible. Interaction with the first field, I can see already validation takes in, so other inputs which are required, they are red, and when I actually write them, they become of usual color, not red, which means that validation works and this value is valid. For instance, for this text input of type email, only email addresses inserted will be valid. If I insert a regular text, like test something, it still shows me error. This is HTML5 validation, and specifically type of this field is email. Let me insert it, and then test message. When all fields are valid, there is a send message button that is enabled already, and I can click it and the form will be submitted, and here I have notification that tells me form submitted successfully. This notification is provided from this element, this special element notification. It doesn't have any settings, it just works when inserted inside smart form. Let me save this page. I'm going to show you another example. Let's go to pages. Another example of the page that I already pre-created, so you can understand how flexible the form functionality inside Builderius is. I have created this very simple ordering form by using composite element contact form. I've added extra form field and configured it so it has these three options. It has these images and looks like I'm given option to choose a type of the product. Let's see how it works on the front end. In the first field I can type my name, and the second one is for email. Then I choose the size of the product, the type of the product, and insert some test message and click send message. Right, so form is submitted successfully, and then we should go and see where are our submissions. So I go to dashboard. In the admin menu Builderius we have another page that is called form submissions. Here I have my two submissions. As you remember, the first one was submitted right from the editor, and you can spot that submission by checking this a bit weird URL here. It also has details. There is icon view. I can click it and preview the details. I submitted name and message. And the second element, as you see, its text is in bold. It means it's not red yet. This one is red already, and I can also preview it. This is my kind of ordering form. Here I have my third custom form field that is called its name actually size and the value medium. There is also a section for form submission metadata. So here I have ID, vlog IP address, user agent, and referrer. There is a quick navigation between messages. I can go back and forth. Additionally, I can mark my message like unread if I would like to maybe review it later.